Hi friends, in this video today we are going to see the topic of item counting journal in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. As usual, as I say, the if you are watching my video for the first time, then my name is Sriram Sivashankaran, and if you want to get regular updates about Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation, please do follow my profile. Right? So we'll quickly get into this video. So we are now into the inventory management module. So we are constantly posting documents and videos related to inventory management module, procurement and sourcing. And now we are into inventory management module. Already we covered some of the important topics like movement journal, inventory adjustment, transfers, item arrival, and transfer orders. Now we are getting into the topic of item counting. So item counting is basically used in your warehouses whenever you want to perform the counting process and adjust the inventory using the counting journals. So using the counting journals, let's say physically during the counting process you identify that there is 100 quantity available physically in your warehouse, but in the system it has only 98. So then you can quickly create a counting journal and adjust the stock, and how you will be able to do that, that's what we are going to see in today's video, right? So, first of all, in order to before creating a counting journal, you need to ensure the basic setups. Like first of all, a journal name has to be created. If you go to setup, you go to setup inventory management, and then click on inventory. Sorry, journal names, and then click on inventory. So here you need to have a counting journal created. So basically, if you click on new, and you need to create a journal name, I count or whatever it is as per your convenience, and then you need to tag the journal type as counting, right? So once the counting is selected, you can also see the offset account is grayed out. So counting journal has to be created if you want to post a counting journal. A journal name has to be created, right? So once you create a journal name, then if you want, you can tag the journal name in the parameters also, because in the inventory warehouse management parameter in the journals, if you want to tag that counting journal which we created right now, you can also tag that. If we tag that, then automatically system brings the counting journal name whenever we create a new counting journal. I will show you now. If you go to the counting journal page and click on new, by default you can see the name as ICNT. That's because this is the name which is tagged in the inventory and warehouse management parameter. And we can also see the counting journal which we created right now, journal name which we created right now, right? You can use any of the counting journal. And then in the create inventory journal counting journal page, you need to select the site. You can select the site in warehouse if required, or else you can directly proceed. But the view by default in the main form will be based on the toggles which are enabled here. You can enable any of the product storage and tracking dimensions, right? The site, warehouse, and the inventory status, whatever the toggles you enable, that will be visible in the main form, right? So this is the create inventory counting journal page. I'll click on OK. I've given the site and warehouse, right? So now after that, I can directly add the lines in the journal lines section by clicking on new. Or the other option generally which is used often is just create lines option, which is available in the header. So in the action pane, sorry. So there are three possible ways in which you can add the lines in the journal line section. So we will see one by one. First is by on hand. So from the on hand, you directly want to add a number of lines. Let's say you can add 1,000 lines, which is the maximum number of lines which you can add in your journal lines, and you can you can perform the counting process, right? And the toggle below physical transaction says, if after the last counting, let's say I have done a counting process in the month of April, in the month of April, I have done my last counting process, and in the month of June, once again, I'm doing the counting process. So, from April to June, for whatever the items for those transactions has been done, if only for those items alone, if I want to do the counting process, then I need to enable this toggle, or else this is not required. Because if the transaction has not been done, there is no point in doing the counting again, right? So that's the reason. And also you can give a not counted since, because which have not been counted will be included based on the date. And you can also include the stocks based on the counting group. Generally, I will also show you I will just try to duplicate this tab. So the counting groups can be tagged in the release products. Let's say I'll go to product information management, release products. So based on the counting groups which are tagged item, the system will fetch the stocks. You can pick any of the item. So whatever the counting group tagged in the system, based on this, the system will fetch those items for the counting purpose, right? So let's say in this, if you go to manage inventory for tab, so I think I just scrolled. Yeah, I think we are not at there. Yeah, here manage inventory for tab, and under inventory section you will have counting group. So based on the counting group, system will fetch those items for which you want to perform the counting process. So if we select the counting group as 10, then system will fetch the on and information detail for the item whichever comes under the counting group number 10, right? And activate counting code is not required. This is only for the criteria, so this is not required. And include items with nothing on hand. So this will include basically wherever the stock is not available. If you want to enable this, then system will bring all the lines wherever the stock is zero, right? So this is the first option by using the on hand. Second option in to create the lines is by use picking the items directly, where you will have the same options like counting date, maximum number of lines which you want to include. The same physical transactions option is available. And the thing is, you will have the counting group also over here. And most importantly, you will be also able to use the owner option, because I have published a document related to consignment inventory in my LinkedIn profile. If you want, please check out the same. Because if there is a consignment inventory and you want to do a counting process for that, then you need to select the owner, based on which the system will fetch the records, right? And this is the second option. The third option is also checking directly the expired batches, which you feel the on hand is the same options available over here. But still in the on hand, if you want to check only the positive on hand inventory or the negative on hand inventory, wherever the stock is in negative or wherever the stock is zero, then possibly you can use this option. Otherwise, the same set of options will be available. Overall, the three options primarily helps you to create the lines in the journal line section rather than simply adding the line one by one. And also, those cases also possible. If say if you want to check the stock, do the counting for a specific item, then you can manually add one or two lines. But in case of if you want to check the items for a complete warehouse, then adding one by one is not possible practically. So you can use any of the options whichever available in create line section. And you can also change the counting date. So counting date, if I am saying I want to complete the counting process on today's date, and I just don't want to include more than 10 lines, and just don't want to include the lines for which transactions is not done, right? So if I want to do that, then I need to enable this. So right now I am disabling this. And you can also select a counting group. So I am selecting the counting group number 10. So whatever the items for which the counting group 10 is tagged, system will bring only those items, right? Now I will click on OK. So this will process the item counting journal lines. So once system fetches the lines, yeah. So based on the item counting group tagged, system has fetched, and also the site and warehouse information whichever we have given, system has fetched the line level details, right? So system says on the on hand it has 10, and for the other item there is no on hand, it is 0. So there are only two items for which I want to do the counting process. So we need to understand this particular grid. Let's say so the system says the on hand quantity, which is whichever is available, it is displayed over here, and whatever which is actually counted by the warehouse worker, that has to be updated over here. But in order to do the counting process, we need to provide the information of this journal to the person who is actually performing the counting process, right? So you can print this journal either by clicking on journal or counting list. So once if I click on journal, the journal lines will be printed. The other option is you can create a counting list and hand over this particular document to the person who is performing the counting process. You can print the on hand if you want them to know how much quantity is available in the system, or if you don't want the person who is counting to know how much quantity is available in the on hand, then you can simply disable it. You see the online information is not available. So they will print this particular form, they will go to the warehouse and check how much quantity is available, update the counted information, and hand it over to the person who is posting the counting journal, right? So in case if I click on counting list and if I enable the print on hand and if I click on OK, then you will also have the on hand information available for the person who is doing the counting process. So you see the on hand information is available, and this item the on hand is zero. So they will be able to take a informed decision. Okay, so as per system it is 10. So physically whether 10 is available or not, they will be able to go and check it, right? So this is how you need to create a counting journal, hand over the counting journal document to the person who is doing the counting process. And once he has given you the information, let's say now the person has completed the counting process and he says actually the physical stock available is 12 and not 10. And for this item, there is a physical stock of uh, let's say I'll put it other way around. I'll say this item actually available is 2 8, and this item is actually available quantity is 2. So you can see the quantity it has, whatever the quantity actually available, based on which the system will post a negative adjustment for this line, this item number, and whatever the quantity which need to be added will, a positive quantity will be posted for this particular line. So the moment when we post this particular counting journal, then this in the transactions this item will be considered as sold, and this particular line, the transaction, it will be considered as purchased. Let's see how the system behaves in this case. Now I'm going to post this transaction. I'll click on OK. So the counting journal need to be posted, and but still we have an error message. Okay, inventory dimension location must be specified. Set up ledger account for inventory expenditure profit is not specified. Okay, I will quickly complete that also, because we are basically procuring this material. So set up profit expenditure account is mandatory, so which has to be, which is a configuration in the posting profile, so which has to be completed. So inventory expenditure profit, so you can see the it is not defined, and that's the reason we are getting the error log. So I just select any of the account for time being and accounts payable and close this, because our intention is to post the counting journal, and this particular item location is mandatory, and that's the reason it is not allowing us to proceed, because location is an active dimension in this item. If I check the item number, let's say if I go to the item number, then you see it is an advanced warehouse item. You see location is active, so that's why it is asking for the item number also, right? So now I think it should be fine. We'll save this and then we'll try to post this counting channel, right? And still we have this error. Okay, it's not specified because our ledger account is not mapped correctly, and I think that is the reason. uh, so we need to tag the appropriate ledger account. If not, then system will not allow us to proceed. So let me check what is the ledger account which is tagged for 80002. I will try to tag the same ledger account so that we will not get this issue, right? So this is how on a real-time basis we used to solve the client requirements, and then proceed for it. So inventory expenditure profit. Mm, so here the ledger account is actually not tagged inventory expenditure profit. So let me check what exactly we are missing right now. So probably the inventory ledger account which we created, we need to check whether, we'll check once again, we will check posting the document what is that the error info says, because it says inventory expenditure profit is not specified. Okay, I think we have not saved it. Maybe we will just check that, because in inventory expenditure profit account is a mandatory setup which is required. So if I'll go to the posting inventory expenditure profit, yeah, we have actually saved it, but still we get this error, right? So I'll try to keep this for all. Then I will see is there any expense account which we can tag. Then I'll save this. I'll go back. Let's see whether system allows us to do it, or else we will simply delete this line and then we will continue for posting. I'll do a validate. Journal is okay. Then once again I'll click on OK. It's not posted. The update has been cancelled. Why? Location 1000 does not allow mixed item. Okay, because this is a different error which we have, because the location does not allow mixed item. So we need to select a different location. So I will select 2000. So again I save this. Then I'll try to post this again. Then I'll click on OK. I think now the error whatever we got has been resolved. The journal is successfully posted. Now if for this particular line, if I go to the inventory and check the transactions, I can see the two quantity has been purchased. The two quantity has been purchased. So that's why sorry, actually it is the counting journal, and eight quantity with which we have done completed it. And if you can see the other item, yeah, you can see the quantity is two. Now if I click go to transactions, I think it might be, yeah, it actually technically it is showing us it has purchased because of the reference counting journal. And you can also see the reference at any point in time, right? So this is how you do a counting journal process. And here the quantity is taken as counted as 2, and that's how for the same that counting journal has been posted. And using which you can do any of the adjustments in the inventory, on an inventory and on hand, right? So this is the standard process for counting journal. And if I go to the on hand, I can also see the information of the same. So posted quantity is available, and also I have the physical inventory which is actually 18, right? So this is how you do a counting journal process in Microsoft Dynamics 365. And I hope to see you in another important video. Thank you.